Welcome back. In this video, I'm talking about a lightsaber duel I thought was very interesting. And I'm surprised I don't see anyone else talk about it. It's from Tales of the Underworld, the series I thought was amazing. But while this duel was actually very enjoyable to me, I thought it was good, I also think it's actually a great example of how not to create a lightsaber duel, which is kind of confusing, but let's get into it. Starting with the positive side of things, the pace was nice, the moves were actually good all in isolation, and the emotional moments and where it fit in the story was very good. On top of this, the setting, the use of the environment, and a few more outside factors I really liked. However, this was by no means the peak of the series, and this video is more about how the duel fails to hold up with the rest of them. So let's move on to the next section. A very important part of duels is who wins and how these duelists fare against each other. It is a very real problem when you have characters who should not be performing well perform much better than they should. Not only is it inconsistent, but it's also a very easy way to destroy the respect you've established for characters, like Grievous in the Clone Wars. He is defeated embarrassingly, and his performances are just nowhere up to the standards set in other pieces of material like the Revenge of the Sith novel and the micro series. This is a problem I have with the duel in question. Asajj Ventress is a very powerful Force user trained by Dooku like Grievous. She could fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin at the same time, and she became so powerful she actually threatened Palpatine himself, which is why he ordered Dooku to kill her. Ventress consistently fights with the best of Jedi and is on that highest level. Meanwhile, Inquisitors, even the best of them, are a match for normal Jedi like Kanan Jarrus, who didn't even have complete training. Kanan Jarrus beat the Grand Inquisitor. Asajj should absolutely destroy this nobody. But not only is she tossed around by this Inquisitor, she needs to be saved by the Padawan she's been carrying around. And how he does it is also another problem. Like, how does this Padawan get a surprise attack on the Inquisitor? And how is the double stab maneuver not against the Jedi Code? I guess Jedi with half-baked training is just Inquisitor kryptonite or something. It does not make sense. So let's move on to the final point, the ugly bit. The part that disregards a very important part of lore when it comes to lightsaber combat. Force shields and how the Force and lightsaber skill balance out in a duel and come together. Dooku in Attack of the Clones says that the lightsaber skill decides the battle when Force powers cannot. And that is true. That's how it should be. When two users are roughly equal in force power, it is lightsaber skill that will most likely determine their fight. Here, however, it looks like force power is determining the fight between two people who are apparently roughly equal in lightsaber skill when they really shouldn't be. I'm sure you've considered how lame fights would be if there was no counter to just flicking your opponent around with the force. And there is one. It's called the Force Shield. Asajj pushes the Inquisitor and then he chokes and ragdolls her. He overpowers her a second time when she reaches for a lightsaber and he knocks it away through the Force. What could make this a little better is if he was the stronger Force user and she just got a push from greater focus somehow. But that would also make it way worse because she comes in with such confidence. It would be understandable if, dying had her weak, but there's no implication of that. She's very confident in her abilities up against a red lightsaber wielder who could be a Sith for all she knows, and right after it's once again proved that she is a vastly superior Force user to the Padawan she's dragging around, aka Inquisitor Kryptonite. I like my boy Lyco, but he has no business here. Ironically, another fight with Asajj Ventress, her first one from the micro series, was amazing in all regards, and especially in how they incorporated the Force versus lightsaber skill in the duel. Anakin actually gives the only visual use of the Force shield that I think I've seen, and the space and cadence between lightsaber clashes and Force powers are just what I love to see. They're not here, and the fact that the Inquisitor just overpowers Asajj twice should suggest he is way stronger in the Force than her, and it just does not add up. It would not take a lot to fix the duel in my mind, but as it is, it's a great example of how not to make a lightsaber duel. Asajj should destroy. Asajj should destroy. Ah,